My name is Mitch Matlow, M-A-T-L-O-W. I am currently the PIO for the Garlic incident. After this press conference, I will be relieved and there will be a new PIO. The first speaker for this afternoon's press conference is Police Chief of the City of Gilroy, Scott Smithy.
So I have a few updates for you in addition to what I've given the last two press conferences. The first is that, through the different teams working the crime scene and developing leads, we have located the suspect vehicle that was used to drive out near the festival. We have obtained a search warrant for that vehicle, and they're in the process of serving that warrant now. So I don't have any update on what is in the vehicle because that hasn't actually happened yet, but that will be happening shortly. We also obtained a search warrant for a residence in the city of Gilroy that was associated to our suspect, and that search warrant was served today. And again, I don't have any details on anything that came out of the search warrant, but that has now occurred. And I wanted to address, there was a young man that thought it would be a good idea to post on social media that he just shot up the G-Fest. And so we've received a lot of calls from people and emails and concerns that, this is an associated suspect to the Garlic Festival shooting. And this young man, his name is Chase Hallow. He's 20 years old, but on his postings, he lists his name as Chase M. Killings. Obviously, that got our attention, so we have located him. We have taken him into custody, and we've determined that he was not involved in the shooting, that he just thought it would be a fun way to get some attention, apparently. So for people that are sending that in or have seen that, we have followed that lead through and determined that that is not associated with this event. We also have our district attorney's office and other agencies are working together to open up a family assistance center to help victims and people affected by this shooting. And I just wanted to reiterate that, even though I know that went out as a press release. The DA's office, Victim Services Unit, the American Red Cross, and the county's behavioral health services are opening a family assistance center starting at 5 o'clock this afternoon. It'll be at the Rucker Elementary School in Gilroy. Rucker Elementary School is at 325 Santa Clara Avenue in Gilroy, California, 95020. The services that they will be providing at that center would include grief counseling and emotional support, assistance filing claims for state funds for payments of medical bills, counseling bills, and other assistance for victims and their families, and referrals to agencies for providers for medical services, counseling, and other related services. And they're going to open up today at 5. They'll be open from 5 this afternoon until 10 this evening. And then they'll be opened for the remainder of the week through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then we'll reassess times in need at that point in time and issue additional hours as needed. And lastly, we've gotten this assistance from all these different agencies, and Sheriff Lori Smith is here with me today. And obviously, this is her county, Santa Clara County, and her agency and her staff has been providing support. They were some of the first responders on scene. And whenever we deal with something like that, we have a mutual aid process. And of course, we reached out and made that formal mutual aid request, and the sheriff's office has been really instrumental in helping us get those resources that we need to continue to investigate this case. And so we very much appreciate that. And I'm going to turn it over and get another update from the FBI with regards to the process that's going on out at Christmas Hill Park.
Thank you, Chief. My name is Craig Fair. I'm the Deputy Special Agent in charge of the San Francisco Division of the FBI. I'd like to thank everybody in the public for your patience as we very systematically, methodically, and deliberately process an extensive and complex crime scene, which will take several more days to complete. This afternoon, I want to provide you with updates on two issues. One, the assistance that we are seeking from the public, and two, the efforts of our Victim Services Program and what you can expect from the FBI and the District Attorney's Office over the course of the next several days. In terms of investigative publicity, we are asking for the public for any information you might have on the shooting. Any tips should be called into the Gilroy Police Department at 408-846-0583. If you have any photos or videos, we have launched a website for you to send those media files. That is www.fbi.gov/Gilroy. That's www.fbi.gov/Gilroy if you have any photos or videos you want to share with law enforcement. Finally, I want to share with you that the FBI is working with the local DA's office on victims' assistance and providing assistance to those affected by this tragedy. The FBI Victim Service Division and our evidence response team will be working with the DA's office to collect and return personal effects that are not considered to be of evidentiary value and have not been entered into the chain. This process will take time, and I'm asking, please, for patience while we identify, itemize, co-locate those items so they can be repatriated with the owners and the families. I will provide you with updates on that process as well as additional victim services as that information becomes available. Thank you.
We will now take a few questions.
For the chief of the FBI, have you checked, all this talk about a second suspect, have you guys checked to see if the ballistics of the suspect's gun matched the bullets and the people who died? And do they?
You want to answer that? Not something I'm going to answer right now.
So that will be part of the investigative process. There will be, as in most cases, a forensic evaluation, but that determination has yet to be made. The gun is still collected as evidence and it's on site. We have not taken any steps towards that forensic evaluation at this point.
Can someone confirm whether or not the gunman was armed with another gun, in this case possibly a handgun?
I have not heard that in any of the briefings that I've attended thus far.
I spoke with one vendor today who said he saw the gunman and he said he saw him shoot with the handgun, and then when the handgun jammed, he started using the assault rifle.
Okay, I have not. That's news to me. I have not heard that.
Is there a second suspect out there? Have you concluded one way or the other there's somebody else you're looking for?
As to the second suspect, we have not made any progress other than what I gave this morning. We're no closer to determining whether there was or was not a second suspect, and if there was, what involvement they may have had.
Can you give us more details about the car of the suspect?
I don't have that available in front of me. I'm sorry.
You mentioned that a warrant was served on a house this morning or today. Can you confirm that that was the house on Churchill?
That would be correct.
Okay, and have you been able in the past 6 hours to derive anything additional about the suspect's motives or ideology?
I have not. I have not had a briefing yet on the outcome of that search warrant or any relevant information that may have come out of it.
Anything from the FBI? Have you learned any more about his potential motives?
We are currently undertaking social media scrubs, as well as assessing information that's derived from other interviews and investigative techniques that we've deployed over the past 24 hours.
Can you guys just talk to the suspect's movement to Nevada? Was he living there, and why was he living there? What did you guys find at his house? I understand a search warrant was served up there. And did he come back here just to do this shooting?
So there's a lot of different agencies involved, and I'm not familiar with the search warrant that was served in Nevada, and I've heard a couple of different versions of the events as to whether he was living in Nevada still or whether he had moved back to California, and I don't have confirmation on which of those is the actual story at this point.
Chief, is
The
the family,
FBI
is the family
speculated
cooperating
about
with
what
you?
methods you are going to be using. You gave us a couple just now as you try to determine a motive. And explain to us why you believe the suspect's dead, why a motive is important for any investigative agency like yours to determine.
Well, I think that motive is important. I think everybody wants to know why, the answer why. And, if there's any affiliation with other people or groups of people that could potentially pose a threat in the future, I think that all plays into why that would be important to understand.
Chief, is the family cooperating?
I can't answer that. I have not had contact with them.
What about the FBI? Do you have contact? Are they talking to you, or is there back and forth?
I don't know if we...
We are conducting some of the interviews in conjunction with the police department. I can't comment on the results of those interviews at this point in the investigation. It's still very early.
Is there an open dialogue? Are they cooperating?
I can't comment on that right now.
So from your perspective as FBI, do you think that the festival was well prepared for an incident like this?
Events like this are occurring across the country every weekend. And it's up to those events coordinators to determine the extent to which they want to employ security features. This event was completely fenced in. Police officers as well as FBI agents were on scene when the shooting occurred. There was patrols actively moving throughout the crowd at the time of the shooting. As a result of that, that subject was neutralized within a very, very short period of time.
Greg, can you talk about what kind of social media presence the suspect has in terms of how many accounts, or in terms of the scrubbing that you're doing? Can you elaborate?
I can only speak to him having a Facebook account, which was recently opened.
Not his Instagram account? Can you confirm whether that was his or not?
I can't confirm that.
Could you provide a little clarity on the weapon? I think this morning the police chief said it was an SKS, but then someone else was. There were reports that it was something I think called like a WASR. Could you clarify if you found out exactly what type of weapon that it was?
Do you have the answer to that?
I could tell you. Robert Topper. I'm the resident agent in charge at the San Jose field office for ATF. I can tell you the weapon that was recovered was a AK-47 variant. That is it's based on the original AK-47 when it was imported. So that's I cannot give you the specific model or anything like that.
And were there other weapons recovered, sir?
Not that I'm aware of.
It is an import.
Yes.
Is it legal in California? I know that'd be a California law question, but
That would be a California law question.
I know, but you deal with guns a lot. Is it legal in California?
I'd have to direct you to California Department of Justice for that.
In light of these alleged social media posts with the neo-Nazi referendum, just how random were the targets this gunman was shooting at? Or did he aim at specific people?
That's something I don't know at this point. The descriptions that have been given to me, it appeared as if though it was random. But I think we're still too early in the investigation to be able to say that definitively.
So when you look at the number of injured, though, Chief, I mean, are we looking at a large number of minorities, the people that are in the hospital right now? Is there any sort of light you can tell us about them?
We're compiling a list today of all the different victims and all the different locations. I do not have that list yet. Once we're able to look at that list, I think then you could draw conclusions from that when we see it.
And Chief, because of the notoriety of the Garlic Festival, especially in this area, the number of people, can you sort of tell us, was there always in the police chief's mind a concern that, yes, this could be a target?
Well, anytime you put on a large event with a lot of people, you're always concerned. which is why we try to run a very tight, closed event where there's, controlled access. And so do we think about it, and do we think about how we would respond if something were to happen? I would say the answer is yes.
Did he have a job? Was he going to college? And how do you properly pronounce his last name? There's been a lot of different pronunciations.
I don't know.
Did he have
Sorry.
what about job or college?
I don't know that either.
Can you confirm a backpack was found with ammunition outside the festival?
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that will be the end of this press conference.
Can you just confirm that a backpack was found with ammunition located outside the festival grounds?
I don't have any information on that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
A backpack, was a backpack found with him?
I don't believe one was found.
Okay. At this point, we don't have any information about a backpack.
And can we also say where the car was found?
It was a little bit northeast of the park, off of Laurel Drive.
What drive?
Laurel Drive. I'm good.
Anything about how the police apprehended him with the holiday?
We are finished with this press conference for this afternoon. I apologize. The chief has someplace he needs to go.
Next update?
It will be approximately 24 hours from now, tomorrow afternoon. No, there will be one tomorrow afternoon.
If you get more information, I would assume you would come to us before that time, though?
It will, like I said, I will be relieved. Captain Murphy will be taking over, and yes, he will be putting out information as is appropriate. After people move out, I will field questions from the Spanish-speaking media, so we don't have conflicting camera activity.
Anyone in the FBI or anyone out of town with his last name?
I will look into that for you, but I don't have that information right now.
And is there a vigil here tonight at 6 p.m.?
I've heard that there is a vigil. I do not know the location of the vigil.
So Captain Murphy will have your list and will be pushing out?
Yes, he has my list.
Thanks for that. I just want to make sure that.
Yes.
That's all important.
Okay, so it is an AK-47 knockoff, basically. So the AK-47 originally was made by a Russian manufacturing company. Lots of companies have duplicated that weapon. The ATF agent in charge said he was not familiar with which company specifically produced the weapon, but it was an AK-47 type weapon. Those are informations that are produced by manufacturers other than Kalashnikov for the AK-47 type weapon. It's basically a forged copy.
I just want to be specific about the vehicle. Is it accurate to say it's a car, or is it a van?
I'm sorry, I don't have any information. The chief said it was a vehicle, and that's all I can tell you.
All right.
Yes, as soon as yes, right here.
Yeah, sorry about that.